and the omnibus. So I was forced into the Archers when I was a child. And look, it's come back to bite me later on. I'm awash with this stuff.
The Archers is the world's longest-running radio show, with more than 15,000 episodes broadcast. Despite being a rural flavour show, The Archers is recorded in the heart of...
You know, have you ever just stopped and thought about how much you can learn from, like, the really ordinary stuff? A chat down the pub, or just a busy day working somewhere?
Yeah, definitely. Those little moments, they often tell you more than the big speeches, don't they?
You really do. They're like these little glimpses into, well, into us. How communities work, how we deal with each other.
It's true. The everyday interactions, the small choices people make, that's where you see the real patterns.
Absolutely. And that's basically what we're doing today. Welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah, welcome.
We're going to listen in on some real-world audio. Well, sort of real world. It's from a recent episode of The Archers.
Ah, right. The long-running radio drama about farming life, mostly.
Exactly. And our mission really is to pull out some of those interesting insights about community, you know, personal growth maybe, and just handling those tricky relationships we all bump into.
And this particular audio, it gives us a great snapshot. There are kind of two main things happening, weaving together. First, there's this local pub competition. Lots of strong feelings there. Pride, rivalry, the whole bit.
Right.
And second, there's haymaking happening on one of the farms, which, you know, sounds straightforward, but it gets tangled up with some unexpected personal stuff, some real drama and revelations, actually.
Okay, sounds intriguing. So let's start with the pub then. The battle of the locals, as it were.
Sounds good. So it opens with someone very carefully writing down all the good points about their local pub, the Bull.
Right, for this competition.
Yeah, and what's really noticeable is just how dedicated they are. It's not just, oh, I like my pub. It's more like they need to prove it's the best.
Like objectively the best in the whole region.
Exactly. They actually say something like, feeling it and it being true are two different things.
Huh. So they really believe it's a fact.
Totally. And that, I think, is our first kind of key insight here. How our own biases, our loyalty to our place, can make us feel like our best is just objectively true, even for a pub.
Yeah, that makes sense. We all kind of do that, don't we?
Yeah.
My team, my town.
Right. And the character even acknowledges that maybe everyone feels that way, but insists theirs is actually true. It sets up that classic clash. Personal feeling versus trying to find objective proof.
So how does the competition actually work? Is it complicated?
Nah, it seems pretty simple. You nominate your pub, write down your reasons why it should win, and then someone collects them all and makes a short list.
Standard stuff. But the feeling around it seems intense, especially when we hear about the competition.
Oh yeah, the rival pub, the Book and Hounds. It gets described as rough as it comes.
Rough? How so?
Well, things like dirty carpets, broken facilities, you know, the whole picture suggests it's, well, not great.
Okay, so it sounds like the Bull should walk it then. Easy win for Jolene and Kenton there.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But, you know, underdog stories.
Yeah.
They can be complicated. And how we see our rivals often says a lot about us, too.
True. It's all tied up with local pride, isn't it? It's not just about the beer or the carpets. It's about identity, belonging.
Exactly. Who we are reflected in our local. It makes you think how deeply rooted that can be. This conviction that your place isn't just good, it's superior.
It's a powerful force, that community connection. Okay, so from the pub, let's head out to the fields.
Right, to the farm. Haymaking time. And a whole different set of dynamics starting to unfold.
And right away, there's a bit of tension. Ed, one of the farmers, he seems a bit worried about Amber turning up to help.
Yeah, he's got this preconceived notion, doesn't he? He actually says he expects her to be sitting on a hay bale on her phone most of the time.
Ha! Classic stereotype, maybe, assuming the young person won't want to get sick in.
Pretty much. But then Amber arrives, and she kind of immediately throws that assumption off balance.
How so? What does she do?
Well, she turns out quite confidently, actually, in what she calls her new clothes for the job.
Okay. Proper farming gear.
Not exactly. It's actually George's old jeans and one of his t-shirts, but she's cut the sleeves off.
Right. Customized.
Yeah, she says George advised her to dress for the heat. And she's also taking photos. Cute ones for her social media feed.
Ah, okay. So maybe Ed's fears weren't totally unfounded. Phone is involved.
Well, yes and no. She's doing the photo thing before and after, she calls them, but she's there, she's dressed for the work, albeit in her own style. It's this interesting mix.
Practicality meets Instagram.
Kind of, yeah. And then Clary, who's always practical, gives her a bit of a warning. Listen to Ed, be careful around the machinery.
Sensible advice on a farm. How does Amber take it?
She's just like, I've got this.
Yeah.
Very confident.
Okay.
And then there's this funny little moment where her jeans are too baggy, and Clary just grabs some twine from the kitchen to hold them up.
Oh.
Quick, no-nonsense fix.
Resourceful. It paints a picture of those little details.
It does. And then Amber just casually drops in a couple of things about herself.
Oh. Like what?
She mentions having worked at farm supplies before, and also that she's off at the minute with stress.
Ah. Okay, so there's more going on there than just turning up for haymaking.
Exactly. It hints at a deeper story, doesn't it? Beneath that confident, maybe slightly image-conscious surface.
Definitely. Which brings us to another point, really. Those first impressions. They can be way off, can't they?
Totally. We often just see the surface.
Yeah.
But Amber's actions, even dressing her own way and taking photos, show she's willing to engage, to adapt. It suggests there's probably more capability there, and maybe more going on personally than you'd guess at first glance.
You just need to look a bit closer. And things do get more complicated, right? William turns up.
Yeah, William arrives, finds his mom, Clary, there. And she admits she's basically pulled a sickie from work.
Skipped work. Why?
Because she was worried about Ed and Amber working together. She even says Amber can be a handful.
So Amber definitely has a reputation then.
Seems like it. But then William looks out and sees Amber driving the tractor.
What? Driving the tractor? How's she doing?
Surprisingly well, apparently. William's quite taken aback. He says, she's not bad, waving from the cab.
Huh. So much for sitting on a hay bale.
Exactly. And Amber explains she's been driving cars since she got her provisional license. This is her first time on a tractor. She admits it was a bit wonky at first, but she's quickly getting into the swing of it.
Nice. Good for her. Directly challenging Ed's initial assumption just by, doing the job.
Yeah. It's a great moment. But beneath all this activity, there's still that background tension about her stay.
Right, you mentioned stress and her family.
Her parents haven't been in touch, and Amber feels like they don't care about her, which sounds tough, and Clary knows she needs Oliver's proper okay for Amber to stay longer.
So her situation is still pretty precarious.
Very. And this ties into the emotional stuff around George. Amber talks about how much he missed the farm. Talked about it all the time.
George. That's who the old claws belong to.
Yeah. And she mentions how she really fell for him during the haymaking last summer. So the farm, this work, it's deeply connected to him. For her, it's not just a place, it's full of memories.
Wow. Okay. That adds another layer entirely.
It really does. And then there's this really unexpected, quite beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Ed starts reciting lines from a poem, Haymaking, by Edward Thomas.
Ed. The farmer worried about her being on the phone.
The very same. He mentions lines about the swift with wings and tail as sharp and narrow, and the scent of woodbine and hay new mown. It just lands. Adds this touch of reflection, beauty right in the middle of the working day.
That is surprising and lovely. It really deepens the sense of place, doesn't it?
It does. And it connects in a way to what Amber shares next about George, a specific memory he told her.
What was that?
About a time he was helping Ed, catching turkeys, getting his trousers filthy, getting told off by Clary. Standard farm kid stuff, maybe.
Okay.
But the crucial bit is what George said about that day. He said Ed made him feel normal just before he got sent to prison.
Wow. So the farm being there with Ed, it was like a refuge, a place he felt. Okay.
Exactly. A place of belonging, normalcy, when things were obviously very difficult.
Yeah.
And you sense that maybe Amber is seeking a bit of that same feeling now.
That makes so much sense. It really highlights something powerful, doesn't it? How places and doing things together, like hard work, like haymaking, it forges these really deep bonds. And making someone feel normal, accepted, useful, especially when they're struggling, that can be incredibly grounding. It's about community, belonging, finding a bit of peace.
Yeah, it really speaks to that need for connection and acceptance, doesn't it? Sometimes it's the simple shared stuff that helps the most.
And that sense of purpose, that feeling of contributing, it gets tested almost immediately, right?
It does. Things take a sudden turn. William checks the weather forecast.
Not good.
Not good at all. 90% chance of rain, like within the hour.
Oh, wow. Okay, crisis time for haymaking. Need to get those bales in fast.
Exactly. And there's this brief moment of panic, like, oh no, there's only two of us really working flat out. Ed and William.
But Amber's there.
And she just jumps right in, no hesitation. There's 3 of us, she says. Come on, we've got this.
Nice. Complete shift from any earlier doubts. She's fully committed now.
Totally. You could almost feel the adrenaline kick in. But then Ed starts to flag. He's getting tired.
Understandable. It's heavy work.
And Amber immediately offers to switch, to do some lugging,
Yeah.
do over the heavy lifting.
Really?
Yeah. And both she and William basically tell Ed to get in the tractor cab and take a break, even though he protests a bit.
So they're looking out for him too. Teamwork.
Proper teamwork. And Amber's response when they're debating it is brilliant. She just says something like, how about you both stop yakking and let my arms do the talking?
Love it. Just get on with it. Shows real determination. And strength, actually.
Absolutely. It completely shatters any lingering stereotypes. She's physically capable, determined, and focused on the goal.
So what happens? Do they make it?
They do. They manage to get the whole half field cleared just as the rain cloud arrives. Success, thanks to their combined effort.
Brilliant. That really shows something, doesn't it? How pressure can bring people together.
Definitely. It's another key thing here, that true teamwork, especially under pressure, it doesn't just get the job done. It reveals hidden strengths and it builds trust.
Yeah. Amber really stepped up when it counted. Proved everyone, maybe even herself, wrong. It's about finding that strength you didn't know you had and learning to rely on others too.
Precisely. It's a powerful dynamic.
And after all that drama and hard work, they get a reward, right? A moment to relax.
Yeah, they have a family picnic.
Yeah.
Chicken salad. And Amber clearly loves it. She says she's super stuffed and calls the food sick.
Which is high praise, apparently.
Highest praise, yes. So there's this nice feeling of, camaraderie, job well done, shared food, relief.
Good, they earned it. But then there's a catch, isn't there, about her staying?
There is. Clary delivers the news from Oliver. She's agreed Amber can stay.
Okay, that's good news for her.
But it's conditional for the time being, and only if, quote, all things being well.
Uh-oh. All things being well. What does that mean specifically?
It means Amber has to apologize to Neil.
Neil. Right. Who's Neil again in this?
Neil is someone Amber believes, along with his wife, is responsible for George going to prison.
Okay, so that's a huge ask. Apologize to the person you blame for your boyfriend being locked up.
Exactly. And Amber's reaction is immediate. A flat no. Refusal.
Can't blame her, really.
She says, I don't care what they think. And then, very tellingly, sorry, but I'm not sorry, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that sums it up. Deeply held conviction there. Loyalty to George overriding everything else.
It's a massive conflict, isn't it?
Yeah.
Personal loyalty versus what's being demanded of her for her own stability.
Does she have any other ideas?
She briefly considers, pretending she'll apologize, but then accidentally on purpose, just not doing it.
Uh-huh. A bit sneaky.
Clary Riley notes that it shows why she and George get along so well. But then Clary delivers the killer line, the warning.
What does she say?
She reminds Amber, who she's dealing with, Clary's own steadfast nature. Presumably, meaning Oliver shares it, and asks, basically, is not apologizing really worth the risk?
Ooh, yeah. That puts it starkly. The choice.
It really does. And that leads us, I think, to the final insight from this whole thing, this really complex situation.
Which is?
It's about that clash, isn't it? Between your deeply held beliefs, your sense of justice or loyalty, and the practical needs of your life, like needing a place to stay.
Right. When does forgiveness, or maybe just the appearance of it, become necessary to move on, even if it feels wrong?
Exactly. Especially when your own stability is hanging in the balance.
Yeah.
What's the real cost of holding on to that grudge, that certainty of being right, not just for others, but for yourself?
It's a tough calculation. No easy answers there.
None at all. It shows how those personal convictions, while vital, often run smack into the messy reality of compromise.
So looking back at this whole deep dive, we've seen quite a journey, haven't we?
We really have. From the fierce pride in a local pub,
to the surprising capabilities people show when you give them a chance, like Amber on the farm.
Yeah, and those really complex family dynamics, the way communities both support you and sometimes put you in difficult positions.
And definitely how much our personal history, our past experiences shape the choices we make right now, sometimes pushing us towards these really difficult compromises.
It's all these layers, isn't it? Human experience negotiating between what you feel is right and what you actually need to do to get by.
So maybe something for you, the listener, to think about as you go about your day.
Yeah.
When you're faced with something you feel really strongly about, something you believe is absolutely right or wrong, when might it actually be more courageous maybe to choose a pragmatic compromise instead of sticking to that absolute conviction, especially if your own stability, your own future kind of depends on it?
That's a tough one. When does bending feel like breaking?
Exactly. It's a question that goes way beyond this story, doesn't it? Something we all probably grapple with in big ways and small all the time.
So what are you doing now?
Just getting ready for the next episode. Just
And,
moving mics around.
So what do you do?
I do the spot effects on the arches. Any
Are you what we call Foley then?
kind of. Yep.
Okay. And these are all part of the paraphernalia of production.
Yep. That's the ball bar. That's,
This one.
yep. That's.
Haley so wanted to be in their own place when their baby came. It's due in 2 months. Not much chance of that now. No. I mean, it would have been a stretch for them financially, mind, but I just wish there was something practical I could do to help them, Caroline. I mean,
I think The Archers has had this immense popularity over the years, basically because it has always very accurately reflected the reality of life and living in a rural community at whatever